As for those not still in a Christmas feast-induced coma this weekend, there are a few events worth leaving the couch for. News Right Now was first on the air with this breaking news this morning, and our Rose Schmidt is live on East Main Street near South Blair with the very latest. Rose, what can you tell us? It comes on what is expected to be the hottest day of the year so far, so pretty dangerous situation.
So we pulled out the dent, we painted the car, and now we're working on the buffing. So these are just a few of the things that you can do here in this industry, which is really struggling right now.
We're going to be heating things up as meteorologist Hattie McLean is out on the patio this morning, feeling a little bit more summer-like in the coming days, Hads.
Just check out how fast this water is moving. The creek flooding many of the homes along here. Also up through the street and over to the fire department over there. They took on water. And then, of course, the Black Earth staple last night. Many folks' favorite shoe store took on water as well.
Okay. Somebody else said, why not both? And I'm with that person because I think for me it depends on how sick I am and if I'm hungry, if I'm tired, which I'm always hungry and tired. So
this is all we talk about on the morning show.
Cheese Fest kicks off this Saturday, and here at the preview is Chelsea DeCane and Chef Dan Fox. Thanks for being here this morning.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Oh my gosh, this looks incredible. We've been smelling this for the past hour.
It's the bacon.
Right now, we're hearing from the Packers and the fans as they celebrate a victory over the Seahawks and a trip to the NFC Championship.
This is News 3 Now This Morning.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, on this Monday, January 13th. I'm Josh Spreiter.
And I'm Leah Lynchide. We have team coverage of some overnight snowfall with Keely Arthur on Live Drive this morning.
And Hattie McLean's tracking the latest conditions. We'll start with her in the Weather Center. Good morning, Hattie. A milk truck driver is fighting life-threatening injuries after spinning out of control on icy roads. Police say the truck hit a patch of ice on County Highway J in Monroe over the weekend. Officials said the driver wasn't wearing a seatbelt and was thrown from the vehicle, and the airbags didn't deploy. The tank, which was filled with milk at the time, also leaked out after the crash. More local news now. An area city is considering allowing sex offenders to live closer to schools, and there's a meeting today to discuss it. The city of Reedsburg says that sex offenders currently can't live within 1,500 feet of a child safety zone, which includes schools or community buildings. They're looking to scale that back to 1,250 feet to give more options for them to live. The city wants to hear from you on this. Tonight's meeting is at 7 at Reedsburg City Hall. Starting tonight, you might hear some extra noise around Truax Airfield. The 115th Fighter Wing of the Wisconsin Air National Guard will be doing evening training flights. F-16 fighter jets will be taking off and landing until about 9 o'clock. This is expected to happen every night through Thursday. 6:23 on a Monday morning. If you haven't looked outside yet, you probably should. You're going to need a little extra time this morning. A little surprise.
Your car might be covered.
Now the Green Bay Packers are headed to the NFC Championship game after a big win over the Seattle Seahawks. Green Bay's defense held through the entire first half, only allowing the Seahawks a field goal. But it was a different story in the second half. Seattle scored 3 touchdowns in 3 possessions, but still trailed the Packers 28-23. The Packers were able to hold on, though, putting them 1 game away from the Super Bowl. Davante Adams says the team had some of their clutch players making big plays. It was exciting. I went to bed before the game ended, so it was nice to wake up to that.
And we posted a poll online asking folks if they're going to head to California, if they're going to watch from here. Most people watching from here. I can't imagine how expensive it would be to go to that game.
I think about 6% of people are planning on going so far, so we'll see how that goes.
Pricey,
Still fun, though, no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
All right, still ahead for us right now on a Monday morning. Wildfires continue to burn across Australia. Coming up, we'll show you the new ways they're working to save the country's wildlife. Cleanup continues after deadly tornadoes ripped through at least 3 states over the weekend. The governors of Arkansas and Mississippi called states of emergency after heavy rain, flooding, and fierce winds tore down trees. From Texas to Georgia, power outages have left tens of thousands of people in the dark this morning.
Cities around the state are recovering from this weekend's snow system.
This includes the port of Milwaukee and Jones Island, where there could be millions of dollars in damage. Take a look at this. At one point, more than 60% of the area was flooded. Right now, U.S. Route 12 is still closed this morning after 35 train cars derailed just outside Menominee. It happened just before 4 Sunday afternoon near the town of Knapp. The cars involved weren't carrying hazardous materials, though other cars in the train were. Right now, no injuries have been reported. That closure is expected to last until later this afternoon, and cleanup is expected to cost around $10 million.
Just unbelievable scenes across the state from this winter weather.
Yeah, there really is, and the footage this morning is unbelievable.
Crazy.
The rising floodwaters of the Black Earth Creek created for some dangerous conditions across western Dane County.
This is brutal.
Daylight brought devastating images for thousands in southern Wisconsin, but Monday's record rainfall left those in western Dane County hardest hit. In Cross Plains, News 3 viewer Mark Strait captured this. A car dealership along the creek taking on feet of water. Some vehicles even being swept into the rising creek. And farther west in Black Earth, roads and bridges were washed away, even a milk truck falling victim. Homes and businesses, including the shoebox, are now just beginning the lengthy cleanup process. Owner Steve Schmidt said the water was waist high at one point, leaving much of his inventory soaking wet. But many say they're glad it wasn't any worse.
I'm all right. There's people in Black Earth that are going to lose their walls, their basements, and Mazo too, so we'll survive. We'll be all right tomorrow. It'll be a tough day today, but we'll get through it. First time we had to close here in 51 years of business because of interruption, so that's pretty good.
And while many businesses remain closed today, business owners tell me they'll work to reopen as quickly as possible, and they wouldn't be able to do it without the hard work of the community. Reporting in Black Earth, I'm Josh Spreiter for WISC News 3. It was just a normal Friday morning for the Arthur family when a car came barreling off the highway right into their living room.
I couldn't get out here fast enough.
Charles Arthur just couldn't believe his eyes.
Where's my family? That was the biggest thing. My family.
Around 6:15 Friday morning, one of his kids called him crying in an all-out panic. An SUV had crashed into the family's home off of County Highway TT.
You think it wouldn't happen to you, but it's just one of those things. I was more worried about having a house fire.
Charles's wife and 3 of their kids were in the home at the time. And get this, just 2 minutes before the crash, one of the daughters was sitting on this living room couch. Luckily, none of them were injured.
Definitely had a guardian angel this morning.
All of the family's pets had also been accounted for after a bit of a search. The family is already thankful for the community stepping in to help.
One good thing about small towns is community is pretty tight.
The driver was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Fire and rescue officials couldn't believe the family made it out uninjured.
It's just amazing that you come up to something like this and you see that and what your expectations are, but we're fortunate here.
While the family is now left gathering what's left of their belongings, Charles says he's counting their blessings.
The house can be replaced.
And due to the significant damage done to the front of the home inspector has deemed the home unsafe. The family isn't sure what they're going to do next. In Cottage Grove, Josh Spreiter, WISC News 3.